A few months ago I visited a modern art museum with my friend. The last time I went there was a few years ago, so I did remember some exhibits, but this time the visit was more intense when it comes to my perception of the artworks displayed there, mainly because I wanted to take my mind away from my sad thoughts at the time. Unfortunately for me, the museum visit left me feeling very anxious and drained. For whatever reason, the whole museum was filled with artworks depicting feelings of sadness, depression, emptiness, and tragedy. I don't have a lot of photos from that museum simply because I just wanted to leave as soon as possible, but I googled some of the artworks there. So you're walking around almost empty rooms, all walls painted white or grey, dim lighting, and every few steps you have to witness someone's trauma depicted on canvas or as a sculpture or installation. I guess those were great works in the sense that they really do depict the emotions and the grief, but after looking at them I couldn't help but feel just anxious and almost paranoid, especially considering my mental state at the time. I went there with my friend, so of course to basically cope through that experience I had to crack some jokes every now and then just to make this whole trip more bearable for me. Basically I could not find one positive artwork in that whole building. And considering I do spend a lot of time online, I was wondering, why is that? I think a lot of artists online lately gravitate towards more positive and cute stuff. Cozy games are super popular, and I guess people are just trying to make this tiny life a little bit more positive for themselves. The positive vibes are trending all the time, everyone is so happy in their reels and TikToks, and that's great. We should be happy, we should be trying to make this life experience worth living. We are not martyrs here. But why do the museums of modern art display only the negative artworks? Do the art critics think that the sad art is more valuable to be displayed in the museum? Do they think it is more meaningful? Do they think the negative emotions are deeper, which makes the artwork more special? If that's the case, how can we blame people for romanticizing sadness and depression? Or even the teenagers of the sad girl Tumblr era for being so enamored with this type of art? On one hand, it just becomes a never-ending cycle. By consuming more negative media, art included, you fully embrace your sadness, your depression, you basically feed your negative thoughts with more and more negative media because you refuse to let go. And while I believe it is very cathartic to fully embrace even the negative emotions and cry out your eyes as much as you need, this is exactly the approach of Aristotle. He suggested that when it comes to depressive art, watching a tragic play allowed the audience to experience negative emotions and in doing so to purge the negativity from their systems in catharsis. But I would say we cannot make that our default. It will be very hard to get out of that pit of sadness while constantly consuming negative affirmations. There are studies done on the negative impact that songs with negative lyrics have on people. When we constantly feed our brain with such songs, we only worsen our state, or we condition our mind to normalize toxic behaviors. However, on the other hand, another study revealed that in the context of art, it might differ how we perceive emotions relating to art from our everyday emotions. It was also studied that actually listening to sad music does not increase our negative emotions, but rather makes us more romantic, though personally I would use the word melancholic. Words are very powerful. Even in English, the verb to spell refers to the transcription of the sound of speech according to the alphabetical principle, but the other definition refers to magic. In Polish, there is a saying, daję ci słowo, which means I give you my word, my promise, that will happen, something will happen. I would compare this principle to visual art as well, as another saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, which explains that a single still image conveys its meaning or essence more effectively than a mere verbal description. This train of thought made me think about my own art and relatability. I think a lot of teenagers just go through that difficult phase where they just want to fit in, and if it doesn't work out, they just try to fully indulge in their sadness. But now, as I'm older and after that museum visit, it made me think, why would I want to make other people sad with my own art? If I decide to depict my own emotions, is it the right thing to do? On the other hand, by consuming art, other people may relate to the depicted struggles. Maybe if they look at the artwork, they can see themselves in it. Maybe people seek comfort in art, meaning, yes, this is a terrible situation, but I'm not alone. Others went through that as well, so I can do it too. I came across a video by The Canvas here on YouTube that is an analysis of the painting by Jan Matejko Stańczyk. That painting depicts the court jester Stańczyk sitting all alone while everyone else is partying in another room. The historical context is that he is deep in thoughts because of the bad news about Smolensk and the fall of Poland. The narrator in that video asks the question, what's more important to the audience, the story the painting is telling or the emotions it's making you feel? Moreover, the jester in the painting was modeled by Matejko himself, making this painting almost a self-portrait. So this artwork was maybe dedicated to a specific audience, or maybe the artist just wanted to depict his own feelings for himself. I think beautifying sadness is inevitable, especially for the more sensitive people. For example, most women beautify everything anyway, so why not do the same with our struggles, just to make it more bearable, maybe to give the meaning to the suffering by beautifying it. I guess we are just programmed to feel that way. But all people seek beauty in one way or another, maybe by making the sadness beautiful, we believe that it will pass quicker. Or maybe we make the beautiful sadness the wolf in sheep's clothing. We disguise it as something positive, but it's not, and it may damage us in the end. Where I'm going with this, well, the truth is I don't know. Even if I ever created art based on more negative emotions, I always wanted to make it more beautiful rather than obscure, melancholic, dare I say. Is depressive art deep or deeper than the other themes of art? In my opinion, no, not really. People just want to create, and usually they create works based on their own personal experiences. So if the experiences are sad, well, the art will be sad. Do I think there is an overwhelming amount of sad art, especially in museums? Yes, definitely. I think there should be balance and more variety in subjects of the artworks presented. It's not like only depressing or political art is worth a while, you know. Like, you're not cooler for not liking pop music, same with art, you're not cooler for not liking happy or mainstream art. This artwork that I'm showing you a time-lapse of in this video is something I wanted to draw a few months ago, but only now got the courage and inspiration to draw it. I prefer to stay away from the sadder themes, not to make myself more miserable, but now as my feelings composted, I could turn them into an artistic creation. And what inspired me is a quote I saw on TikTok: "I am a museum of everything I have ever loved." So I've incorporated some elements of my favorite motif, vanitas, like the cherry blossom trees in the background, which symbolize transience in Japanese culture. I've also drawn some other symbolic messages like the dagger in the heart and other personal memories. You could say I did a little Matejko self-portrait here, but I never said that, it's a random artwork. I was inspired by the Fleabag panel painting by Rats and Lilies art and the quote, "It will pass." Okay, that's everything, that's all the tea I can give you about this particular drawing. Painting this was very cathartic, all is in the past. But anyway, please let me know your thoughts about sad art in the comments. And for now, take care and bye bye.